are still in denial and just want to hang on for dear life, thinking that the NFL is real when it's not. This is All-Pro Larry Johnson talking more about the bullshit that goes on. But we already know the fanboys will be like, oh no, this isn't true. Oh, this is made up. Oh, he has CTE. Anything to just cope with the fact that the NFL is fake. Like, just listen to this. It's damning.
I'll give you a little backstory. If you didn't know this, the Dope Walker family and the Hunt family are intermarried together. Hunt meaning the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't like me being there. Every time I told them I was going to show up, this is like between 2015 to 2018, Clark Hunt would not show. Even when a Kansas City Chief football player was getting a Legends Award that same night, he would not show up because I was there. He only showed up one time when I was there, and that's because he thought my plane wasn't going to land. I came late. So of all the things I've been saying about the NFL, that is rigged. Talking about the Hunt family, knee deep in.
He literally just said it's rigged. Like, he's a former player, he's an MVP, Pro Bowler, all that. He's done all that. And there's other players I put videos up saying this, but people are just in denial.
The assassination of JFK, that the NFL is gay. Have I said this in a tweet like August 2020? All of a sudden they want to award me a special presentation. Just like how Franco Harris did a special interview before he was killed.
So he's basically saying that Franco Harris was killed by the NFL. Because Franco used to say stuff about the NFL being rigged. He says stuff about the Immaculate Catch. His own catch, he says that was staged.
This is how they get you, you former football players. They get you to show up at interviews. They get you to show up at presentations. And if you don't understand the numerology of anything, this is how they can get you and trap you. I would have gone and wouldn't know. And they could have easily put me in a predicament. I could have been at the bar. I could have been drinking. They could have came to my hotel. Any situation that would have fit my natural foolishness, which means either been drinking or been in a fight with a woman. That would be the only thing they would catch me with, and they would tell you this is how I felt. Oh, he died from alcohol poisoning. He died fighting. And people would have believed it. If I went to that show and y'all would have heard that I got killed and you would have told you I died by alcohol poisoning or something like that, most people would have believed it because you know that's usually what I've been in trouble for.
And when these NFL players are dropping dead, they'll say, oh, found dead or something miraculous. And we'll all believe it, but we don't know what the hell's going on behind that.
This is how they get you. It's kind of comical because once you understand numerology and gematria and they use the same numbers over and over and over again, it becomes pattern recognition. Okay? I've seen a lot of football players die and it be because of numerology. I've seen a lot of celebrities die and it be because of numerology. And it's always when they're by themselves, they're found dead in a hotel or something crazy.
I literally just said that, just found dead. Whenever it says found dead, that's always a staged killing.
They attach it to it, and no one can know what's the real truth because they're really that slick with it if you don't have your eyes open. So it's funny to me that these people do not like me. They do not like me around when I was there. When I was in the world, they didn't want me around. So all of a sudden, they're going to give me a presentation after me saying football been rigged, after me saying their family did everything they did. All this stuff I've been talking that smoke, and they're going to invite me into an award show to give me a special award for something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I'd like to welcome everybody to my podcast. Yo, I will be your gracious host, Jupiter 9. And guys, I just want to say that that was the Fair Use Act, and I have nothing to do with that content that you hear. I'm just here to share the information. I didn't create the content, and I'm just here to share this information. But welcome to my podcast, man. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome, everybody. We have a really good show for you guys today. You know what I'm saying? Yo, this is one I want to say. Is the NFL rigged? Is it a possibility that the NFL could be rigged? You know what I'm saying? That was a clip from the All-Pro Larry Johnson. If you don't know who Larry Johnson is, he was the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he was the running back for like 5 or 6 years or something like that with the Kansas City Chiefs, all pro. He's been to the Pro Bowl, and I think he made the playoffs when he played. Really good running back, man. Really good running back. And he's saying that the NFL is rigged. And that makes you wonder, man, like all these games and questionable calls by the refs. You got not only NFL football, but also, too, you got these refs who said they rigged games in the NBA, and you know what I'm saying? And, players like Pete Rose were betting on the games, and, a lot of questionable things that you can, like, go back and think about all these games, man. And, like, now that came to my attention, it makes me really, really wonder. A prime example, the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs playoff game this year, the divisional round, and it was a lot of questionable calls that the coaches made that I didn't understand. For one, I can't remember what quarter it was, but the Bills were at their 30, and it was 4th down or something. I can't remember, man. Being a Bills fan, the way the Bills lost that Kansas City Chiefs game, it's been plenty of games like that, including the 4 Super Bowl losses, you know what I'm saying? Especially the first one, there's been many, many games like that. Being a Bills fan and being a sports fan from Buffalo is like, it's torture. It really is. From the 15-year drought to, to many, many games that we lost, at the last, the 13-second game against Kansas City in the AFC Championship, I believe. It was another one. There's been many, many games like that, you know what I'm saying? So, you kind of get numb to games like that, you know what I'm saying? But it was a very questionable call in that game, and it was 4th and something, I can't remember, and the Buffalo, they were at their 30 and they were going to punt, and the coach decided that it was okay and it made sense for them to go for a fake punt at their 30. And I'm like, yo, what kind of call was that? And, it's a lot of times you see questionable tackles, people not really giving a full effort on tackles, and then there'll be a bunch of people around the player and they act like they can't tackle them. Like, could the NFL be rigged? Now, we all know that the NFL, sports in general, like in America, is big, 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 big business, man. They make millions on top of millions, maybe billions on sports betting that's legal here in the United States now. Merchandise, players' contracts, and so on and so forth. So it's a good possibility, man, that it I don't put nothing past, anybody when it comes to money, power, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, the NFL is very powerful, you know what I'm saying, as a sport organization. And we all forget that it's entertainment. And what is entertainment? You know what I mean? It's very possible this could be true. Larry Johnson, like I said, he's a former player. He knows what's going on within those locker rooms. Are people just following the script? You know what I'm saying? Do people get... I heard another player say that they get their scripts before the season started, and everybody has a script that they're supposed to follow before the season start on who, what, when wins games and how it's supposed to end. And man, you got sports like remember the WWF, which now is the WWE, because I think they were sued a long time ago. And so they had to change their name to the WWE, the World Wrestling Entertainment. You know what I'm saying? They used to be the WWF, the Federation. Now they're WWE. But now, everybody know that's scripted. You know what I mean? If you don't know wrestling is scripted, I mean, when I was a little kid, I used to think that was real. You know what I'm saying? But we're not little kids no more, man. So could the NFL be rigged? And my answer to that is it's a possibility. Because there's a lot of money at stake when people are betting on these games and, you know, like I said, merchandise and contracts. Like, you know, if it's rigged, then you got to start to think, like, are these contracts real that these players get? You know, they're supposed to be making all this money. That I don't understand, too. How in the world can a player make millions of dollars? You know, the average NFL quarterback, top-tier quarterback today makes about $48 to $50 million a year, right? So you got all these other players like wide receiver, running back, tight end, all these other positions, you know what I'm saying? The second position will probably be wide receiver that makes the most money, if I'm not mistaken. How do all these players go broke? That's what I don't understand. And not only that, how in the world are they able to fit these huge contracts with these players making all this money, you know what I'm saying, and stay within, you know, the salary cap? And what's the salary cap for each team? Is it like 50 million or something like that? I can't even remember. I used to be on top of all this stuff. So how do they fit all of these huge contracts with the salary cap only being like $50 million for each team? Like, how did they do that? You know, you start to question stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, you got to ask yourself this too, though. Now, yeah, true. It could be possible that, you know, the NFL's rigged. Like, it could be possible. Like, I'm not putting it past it. I don't put past, when it comes to money, I don't put it past anybody, anyone, anything, you know, because people are controlled by money. And the NFL is no different. This is a capitalistic society in America, and most people are ruled by money. Most businesses they're ruled by money. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing ethnical in business when it comes to money. You dig what I'm saying? So, and the origins of a lot of these teams, and like in basketball too, baseball, a lot of these origins of these teams, a lot of this money came from like the mobs was back in the day. Like, you dig what I'm saying? A lot of this money that started up in a lot of these teams came off the mob and bootlegging. You like, know what I mean? So a lot of this money was dirty money that started a lot of these teams, which, you know, I don't understand how something, you know, and that's allegedly, I don't understand how this person can get away with something like that, you know, by using dirty money to start an organization when if somebody else of the everyday walking citizen tried to do something like that, then they're going to jail. That's what I don't understand, you know, but, you know, there's players, more and more players, former players coming out saying that it's rigged. And you got to really start to think about if it's rigged or not. You know what I'm saying? You got to really start to think that, well, damn, what are they gaining from doing this? Like, honestly, what are they gaining for saying this? Because not only are they exposing something, but you can possibly put a lot of finances at risk with the NFL by exposing this. But, you know, a lot of people are not going to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Because some people need to run into a brick wall in order to believe something. And that's the typical NFL fan. They're not going to believe that it's rigged. Well, me, and don't get me wrong, man, I love the NFL, I love football, but by Larry Johnson coming out and saying that, you know, I bumped into this video, it came up on my feed, and by him saying that and me watching it, what does he have to gain for saying this? In all actuality, he's putting his life at risk by saying it. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, it's a possibility, you know. How does, like, some of these Super Bowls, man, like the one where, I don't know what Super Bowl it was, the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Super Bowl, where the Falcons were up like 20-something points at halftime, and I'm like, yo, the Falcons gonna win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And then New England came back with Tom Brady, came back and won the game by 3 points. It's just like a lot of games like that, you start to question, like, how in the world did a team come back from being down? I think they were down like 3 scores. And New England ended up coming back and winning that game by 3 points, I believe. You know, stuff like that, man, just makes you wonder. Like, you know what I'm saying? How the Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls and didn't win one. We weren't good enough to win one. The first one was wide right. You know what I mean? And you could say, you know, the NFC was a superior conference in the 90s and this, that, and the third, you know. But could it be possible that those games were scripted? Those, a lot of these close games are scripted. Like I said, you got refs coming out in the NBA saying that they scripted games, you know. A lot of the power is in the refs' hands because they can dictate the flow of a game, you know. A lot of former NBA players said that it's possible that the games could be scripted because the refs, they can dictate the flow of the game. They can, you know what I'm saying, call calls to make your star player be benched early in the game, so they can dictate the flow of the game. Same thing with NFL refs, man, which are the worst refs in sports. They be having a lot of, like, I've seen a lot of games where these phantom calls that don't exist. You know what I'm saying? They'll call one call in one part of the game, then the next part, the same action can happen later in the game, and then they won't call it. You know, all these phantom calls are just, you know, questionable. And then a lot of the coaches' calls that they make. Another prime example. It makes you wonder, like another prime example. The Seattle Super Bowl against, what was it? Was it New England too? Yes, it was New England. Where Seattle's at the 1 yard line, getting ready to score on New England's 1 yard line. And you got Marshawn Lynch running like a madman that whole game. I think he was the leading rusher that year. And they decided to throw a pass down there at the one where you could have gave it to Marshawn Lynch, and he would have easily scored that touchdown. And I think they were 3rd and 1 or something like that. They had another down, and you don't run the ball in? See, questionable calls like that, you know what I'm saying, by coaches, and it makes me feel like everybody's in on it. You know what I mean? The coaches are in on it. The players are in on it. The refs are in on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of wild stuff be going on in these games. And it makes you wonder, like, is the NFL rigged? And my answer to that is, it's very possible, man. I just named, 2-3 situations where it could have been, like, possible. You know what I'm saying? That the NFL's rigged. I seen one conspiracy theory video where they were saying that, you know, in the NBA, they have, like, magnets in the hoop, so they can turn these magnets on and off, and when they want a player to go off and go crazy and shoot from all over the place, this helps the player they want to go off and score a lot of points make the ball go into the net easier. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll attract it and it'll go right into the net. I've seen video of the ball being stuck on the rim of the hoop. Just like they'll shoot the ball and it just gets stuck right in the back of the hoop. Like, how does that happen? You know what I'm saying? Without gravity playing a huge part in, you know, the ball doing what it's supposed to do against gravity. How does that happen? Let's see, a lot of things you got to question. You know what I'm saying? You really got to question a lot of this stuff and go, Because at the end of the day, Vegas, you know what I'm saying? Like, the outcome of these games and these especially playoff games, and all this money being bet on these playoff games and Super Bowls, and you know what I'm saying? Vegas has got to have a huge say-so on the outcome of these games. Now, they got to, because some of these games, you be wondering, like, what is going on? How in the world all of a sudden my team can't tackle? Or how in the world, you know what I'm saying, you just throw that interception where there's like 5 or 6 men around him? Like, know what I mean? Like, you really can't notice it when you're watching an NFL game. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're watching an NFL game, because of the flow of the game, sometimes it's going really fast. So you can't really notice these things until you watch a video of it slowing down, and you be like, oh, snap. You're like, no, why did he do that? Or why did he just didn't, trip him or tackle him? He's right there. So you question a lot of this stuff, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. What do you think, man? Leave your comments below. You know what I'm saying? Leave your comments below, man. Do you think the NFL is rigged? And why? You know what I mean? But that's my take in this podcast episode. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to my podcast. Please check me out on YouTube. And also, you can check me out on Rumble as well. Not Rumble. I'm sorry. I'm not on Rumble yet. But I will be on Rumble soon with my podcast. You know what I'm saying? But be on the lookout for me on Rumble as well. But I am on YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel. That's Jupiter 9 Podcast Show on YouTube. Subscribe to me. But that is my take, guys. I'll be your gracious host, Jupiter 9. And I just want to say peace and love to everybody. Take care. One.